Hey, what's up, you shiitake mushrooms? Did you have a good free rune removal day? Did you? Or was it stressful? Or was it frustrating? Or was it terrible? And your team just got a whole lot worse. Yeah, I've been there. And free rune removal day is one of those things where it's both a godsend and it can be a big bitch. It's like, what am I gonna do? It's free rune removal. I'm so nervous and I don't want to make my teams worse. So, the purpose of this video is to attempt to give you guys a better methodology, a more scientific way of approaching FRR. Through this methodology, you guys can lower the risk of having worse teams by the end of the free rune removal, and also increase the success rates of your rune optimizing. Anyway, shout out to Andreas for asking, hey, how did you get your runes and your monster data into this rune optimizing tool? And I think that's I got asked that more than a few times throughout the day. So I'm like, hey, okay, so let's make a video. But I thought, instead of just showing how to technically get this done, get your rune data in here, why not go the extra mile and give you guys a step-by-step plan on how you can have a better free rune removal day and have a better success and be more happy with the results. So, okay, so let's get started. Number one, okay, so the most important part of this step one is to do this constantly. Do this for, I would usually, if I get a good rune. Usually I don't. Most of the runes I get are just trash and I just sell them right away. But if I do get one, I would at least do like a +3 or +6 and leave it there and see which runes it rolls into. Because the worst thing that you can get into, the worst experience is having 350 runes that is unpowered up. So you don't know if they're good or not, and they're just sitting there, empty, and it's free rune removal day, and you don't have enough mana to power them all up. And the last thing you want to do is spend half of rune removal day to power up runes, right? You want to spend the majority of it playing around and testing new builds. That's way more efficient use of time, where you can power up runes in your inventory on a daily basis. So that's step number one. Step number two, okay. Step number two is actually about the time. So this is really, I think for myself at least, I oversaw this a lot. I underestimated the impact of just sitting down quietly, having a reserved amount of time to do free rune removal, to optimize the runes. Because what happens is Summer's War is life hashtag. It doesn't apply to everybody. You would have to go shopping, you have to do chores, you have to your parents call you or whatever, and when you thought you had an entire day, you end up having only 2 hours to play around with the runes. And with 2 hours, you rush in everything that you want to do for the entire day, and inevitably you make some pretty crappy mistakes that can ruin your progression. What I mean is, not everybody can dedicate an entire day, but it will be much more helpful, and you'll be in a much better state to say, for example, I plan to have only 3 hours, right? The Saturday is not gonna work, so and I can't change the free rune removal dates, so I just plan 3 hours and spend the rest of my day doing other shit. But during that 3 hours, I know I only have 3 hours, so I don't plan to rush in everything. I will just make some small tweaks to at least improve my team a bit. Maybe not change up entire comps for dragons or entire comps for arena, and just to play around with some new runes on the same monsters on the same team. That wouldn't take more than 3 hours. So I don't make any mistakes. I at least improve by a bit rather than rushing it, trying to change up comps and everything, and in the end ruin my entire team. So that is rule number two. Make sure you plan enough time or set enough time to to do free room removal and plan accordingly. And one thing I want to tell you guys is if you follow along with the rest of the video, I'll show you guys the spreadsheet, which is here, on how you will organize your rune optimization efforts. And so for planning the time that you're gonna spend on the Saturday, you can tell your parents, hey, yeah, I'm optimizing my gameplay. I'm doing some mad calculations and spreadsheets to improve my progression. And they'll be like, oh wow, wow, he seems very professional. He seems like he knows what he's doing. He seems, doing work during a weekend. Wow. I'll give him some time. Yeah, spend 3 hours to do this. Yeah. So that's a benefit for you guys living with your parents, and they'll be like, hey, don't spend entire time playing. So here's a spreadsheet, so you can just whip this up on your computer. It's like, yeah, I'm not playing. I'm doing spreadsheets, man. I'm calculating my stats. I'm doing some stats. I'm doing some math here. Don't bother me. Anyway, hopefully that that will help you guys out. All right, so step number 3: get your rune data with Summer's War proxy. So this is the technical step. Again, shout out to Andreas who pointed this out yesterday on stream. So how you would do this is, how would you get your rune data and actually upload it to those tools? So what you do is go search Summer's War proxy on Windows, okay? And at least as of today, the first search results are what you're looking for. So the first result is called releases, SW proxy. And sorry, before I go ahead and show you guys this, just a disclaimer though, okay? You can get banned from using this. I haven't heard of anyone that has, but the creators of this tool is not taking responsibility, and they just forewarn us that they're not responsible if Comtois decides to ban your account because you use this. I wouldn't think they would, but sometimes Comtois can be like that, and ban people for using Bluevine or BlueStacks, and also some other mirroring program. So that has happened before. Anyway, just pre-warning before you guys use this. I cannot guarantee that your account is fully safe if you use it. I use it myself, and I haven't got banned yet. And some of my friends use it, and none of them has got banned yet using this. So anyway, so full disclosure there, just be cautious. So what you want to do, and I'm assuming you're on Windows, I will get to Mac later. I'm assuming you're on Windows. All you need to do is download the zip and save it in your folder. Alright, so once you have downloaded the XW proxy server, the SW proxy application, what you want to do is extract it to your directory and go into the SW proxy Windows folder. In this folder, you'll see the application, which is called swproxy.exe here, and you just want to open it up. You'll see like a scary thing like this terminal thing here. Just forget about it. You don't need to worry about that. It's just running in the background. What you do want to look at is the IP address in the proxy port that it has listed here. Okay, so this is the number that you want to have beside you or written down, and then you want to start. You want to press Start Proxy Server, and then once you start running the proxy server on your computer, go to your phone. So make sure you're connected onto the same Wi-Fi that the computer is on, right? So if your computer is on, so my Wi-Fi is Sylvia 5 gigahertz. So let me open this up. So, like, I know for sure that my computer is on Sylvia 5 gigahertz and not the other ones, and that is the same computer that's running the proxy server. So then what I would do is I would connect onto this Wi-Fi, go to Manage Network Settings, and you go Show Advanced Options. This is where you set the proxy, and so you go, instead of None for proxy, you go to Manual. And again, this is and this may be a bit different than for you iPhone users. I will link in the description below on how you would do this on iPhone. It is very similar, but the screens and the terminology, the names may be a bit different. So I would give that for you guys. So I'll give that link for you guys. But for demonstration purposes, this is on an Android Samsung Galaxy. Okay, so here is the proxy. For the proxy name, you would want to enter the IP address that is listed here on the Summers War proxy, if you guys can see that. Okay, and the port is the default port 8080. So save. Okay. And then let's go to home. One thing, oh yeah, make sure your Summers War is closed. When you're doing all this, make sure your Summers War is closed or else it will mess up. I was doing the video a couple of times and that is what messed me up. Because Summers War knows that you're running the proxy, so it's a bit finicky to work with. It would be stuck on the black screen right there. So make sure the Summers War is closed first before you do any of this. See when it says bringing your friends, connecting the game server, pay attention to this screen. It will say monster and runes data generated. This is the line that you're looking for. And watch, this is not going to connect fully through because of a proxy server. And that's, oh, it actually does. Sometimes it doesn't, and that's okay. As long as it says monsters and rune data generated, you're good to go. So then you want to go back to the same folder that you have for the Summers War proxy application. And what you want to look for is this number.json file. Okay. There's many other files for different apps. The main one you want to use is this one, the number.json file. And just as an aside, JSON is like the most popular data format these days, used for all different web applications, not just Summers War. It's just easy in terms of using JSON to pass data through APIs. Anyway, that's just aside. So once you have this file, you will want to go back into your go into your Summers War optimizer tool. This is the one I recommend. There's also Swarm Farm that doesn't really optimize your runes, and there's other ones, but this is the fastest calculator because it uses your own computer's processing speed, not their servers, right? So it helps a lot, and it has a lot of great robust options. So this is the one I recommend. And how to get this one is you go back to Google, you search SW Rune Optimizer Windows 10, okay? Because these guys made a Windows 10 app. So you click on the Microsoft.NET store here. At least this is the one that I have for my Google search. And if you have Windows 10 on your PC, you can either download the app. I recommend getting the app on your PC, by the way. It's faster and it has and it actually shows the profile pictures of your monsters. Or if you're on a Mac, you can go to the you can go click on more and you can go do the web version. And don't worry, you guys don't need to find the links. I will link all this down in the description below. And here, this is the web version. But for me, let's use the Windows 10 app. So you pick a file, and when you say import it, so you go pick a file, and then you click on this. You choose this data file. I'm not gonna do it because I already imported this on my app, but you just choose the .json file, and then you go import it, and then it'll say it's imported. And now you take a look at monsters. All your monsters should appear here. Go to instead of 10, go to show all entries, and your monster should appear here. And that's how you get your JSON file. Okay, so on to step 4. Step 4 is actually organizing the things that you want to optimize, the teams and the monsters that you want to optimize, not jumping to this tool right away. And this will really help. This is a crucial step that will really help save some time and lower the risk of things going wrong. And remember, I was saying you can look professional in front of your parents, look all smart and professional in front of your parents, and this is what I'm talking about. So this is the spreadsheet that I made. I know it's like spreadsheets and uploading files, and it sounds really boring, but if you're one of those, you know, hardcore Summoners War players and really want to squeeze everything, every performance out of your runes, this really helps. And this really will make the free rune removal Saturdays a lot less stressful for you guys and a lot more organized and more efficient. Okay, the point of this entire video. Okay, so what this is just some, you know, sheets that I do quickly to kind of figure out which monsters that I'm gonna prioritize and how I'm gonna use the Summoners War optimization tool. Okay. And then when your parents ask what you're doing, just show them the spreadsheet. It's like, hey, I'm doing work here. You know, can you stop bothering me? All right, I'm doing some serious spreadsheet work here. Okay. So on this, so this is the first thing that you're gonna do. You're gonna have a usage table, and as you probably can already tell, this is every scenario that I do in Summoners War. So you have DB10, GB10, Necro 10, raids. You know, Guild Wars, AO, AD, TOH, hard. And then you list out all the monsters that you possibly want to use, okay? Not the current team that you have, but maybe your future team or maybe someone that you want to try for these different things, right? And just list them out, okay? So as you can see, I already list out all my teams. I have Tark, Vertiheel, Sigmarus for DB10, and I just list them out here. And okay, so I put Tark number 1, Tark number 2 is because I don't want to get them mixed up. As you'll see down here, I have this usage list, okay? So this usage list, you can either count it by hand, or what I like to do is do a count if formula. A Summoners War video and you're learning how to do Excel formulas. I'm pretty sure that's not what you've been expecting, but anyway, like I said, you can impress your parents with this video. Okay, so this is a count if, basically saying, oh, how many times does Galleon appear in this table, okay? And that is just a simple way of saying, I use Galleon for 5 different things in Summoners War. I use Veramos for 4 different things in Summoners War. And this is a list, and you can just list out the top monsters that you use most often as a reference guide. What you could say instead is, you know, I care more about AO, okay? So I'm gonna put this on top of my list anyway, disregarding the number of times the monster appears on this list. But this is just how I like to organize things and be more efficient, okay? And usually if you're like, if you're starting out and if you don't have that many 6 stars, really you should be focusing on monsters that you use everywhere, or you use at least in 3 different places, right? Not just AO, and that's like, it's a very bad idea if you're starting out, if you're like Fighter 2, Fighter 3, and you have like 6 stars, and you make 1 6-star just to do like raids. That's really slowing down your progression. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. So you have another tab that is the priority list tab. In this tab, you based on, you know, your usage list, you rank your monsters, and let's say, you know, Tark is my number 1 priority. What you want to do is you want to list out their set and list out the stats you care about on this monster. This is the sheet that you'll be looking at and referring to as you go on to use the rune optimization tool, okay? So, I mean, this is just a demo. I'm never gonna have Tark as my number 1. Really, I only use them in Dragons and maybe Necro. Anyway, this is just an example. So this is it for number 4, and this is, you guys can take a lot longer for this spreadsheet than I can. And if you guys want me to share the template of the spreadsheet, comment below, and I will, you know, I will send it out. I'll link it if you guys want it. But if not, this is just super easy to whip up yourself, either on Excel or Google Sheets. So again, usage table, right? Listing out where everybody is being used, your usage list, which monsters are being used the most, and your priority list, which are your top priorities. Now that you have your priority list, now let's go on to step number 5. And step number 5 is actually optimizing the runes, okay? So let me close this. So let's go to the rune optimizer, okay? And what you want to do is you want to import the runes, and you don't want to have any of the monsters locked right now. You see my lure is locked because I already set the runes for him, but you don't want to do that because you want to have as much possibilities for the optimizer to work with. in order to give you the best sets for the monsters that you care about the most, okay? Okay, so when you import it, by default, all the monsters are unlocked. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna click on this yellow, see this is the optimizer tab, so it's yellow and it's highlighted. So let's say Galleon is my number 1, which makes sense because I use Galleon in everything, in almost everything except for Necro and Mates. So he is a very, very useful monster. I want him on Will and Violent, and this is where you're gonna look back at your sheet. It's like, oh, what do I want? Let's just pretend like Galleon's here, right? Like Galleon's like my number 1 here, and I want him on Violent and Will, okay? And I want him to have speed, obviously, accuracy, right? And I don't really care about much else. So on Galleon, you go, and because this is your number 1 priority, it's okay to have all the runes unlocked. You want to have speed, probably accuracy on slot 6, will, violent. Okay, so when you set this up, make sure you at least have 2 options highlighted here, or else it'll just be too many possibilities, and it'll be too much for the computer to calculate. You don't need to set the sets. If you want a completely broken set build for a monster, you don't have to put in anything, okay? But in this case, I will. Violent. Will. I will turn off the speed tune because this is not just for AO, and I know Violent Galleon is going to be decently fast enough to outspeed all my other monsters except for Bernard, so it's fine. Okay, so here is the main gist of things. So you go optimize, and then you can take a look at all the builds that the computer calculated for you, right? You are looking at speed and accuracy, so let's say I don't care about this damage, I want speed. So let's say I want the fastest speed, okay? So I can click here to sort by descending order, click again to sort by ascending order. So descending, the fastest speed I'm at is 207. At the very top, the highlighted row is your current build, okay? So that's a very quick reference and very quick comparison to how well the new builds are compared to your current build. So in this build, this is the exact same build, okay? This is the exact same build, and sometimes you'll have that. Oh, here, I have the same speed, and I have, 55 accuracy instead of 48. Maybe I'll go with this one. Oh shit, this one's 72 accuracy. Maybe I'll go with this one. One thing you can do is, let's say, I don't want to see anything that's below 60 accuracy, okay? So I go apply. And now none of this results have below 60 accuracy. Or I can go maximum. And the best part is, you can still sort by descending within this filter, okay? So within 60% accuracy, the fastest speed I can get is 206 now, right? And that's this build here with 72% accuracy. And I take a preview look, and it'll say locations, Galleon, Sierra, inventory, Galleon, Udine Light. And I'm like, okay, Sierra, I don't want to move her, at least not for Galleon, so I skip this, right? But again, when you're doing this for the very first monster, it's probably your first priority, so you wouldn't care. You want everybody's best moves to be on this one single monster. And sometimes that's the best way to do it, depending on how high priority the monster is. But this is a trick that I'm going to show you. When you have your first priority monster, and let's say I pick this build, right? And I look at the stats, a bit more detail, and I say, okay, I like this build. So what I want to do is, before I click on the equip runes, I want to go inside the game. I want to go inside the game and click on Galleon, click on his runes, and match what it's saying here. Okay, I'm gonna grab the violent rune from the Udine Light, grab the violent rune from Sierra, and then after I equip it in game, then I'll equip it in the app so that I'm synced up, so that the app will know exactly where my runes are after moving them around. So what I click on is I click equip runes. So I click on equip runes. It will see. It will show you the runes equipped in, and these numbers are rune IDs, by the way. And then you can click on lock runes, okay? And you want to do that because you don't want the next priority monster to take runes from Galleon, or whoever is your first priority. So let's say my next priority is Trinity, okay? I want Trinity to be, well, I don't care about her set. I just want her to be fucking strong, okay? maybe I want to keep Will in there. I want her slot 2. Also, what you can do is not set a slot 2. It could be speed, it could be attack. I want to see which one's stronger, right? But slot 4 is definitely crit damage, and slot 6 is definitely going to be a attack percent. And I want to focus on attack, I want to focus on crit rate, I want to focus on crit damage, okay? And then I don't need this filter anymore, so I'll optimize. Now it's taking a bit of time, and it builds in 2 seconds, right? This is a really fast app. I used other apps before, this is really fast compared to the other ones. Okay, so this is my current DPS. It's kind of shitty, to be honest, because I had to make it fast. Here's the next rune, and also this is like, I already locked a lot of my runes. This is just for example, and that's why it's so much shittier. But let's say, oh, this build, you know, it's you know, lower in damage, lower in speed. I'm not gonna go for this one. But let's say this was better, right? I will click on this. I would again go into my app, equip the runes on Trinity, right? Click on equip runes here, and then lock runes, and then I move on to the next monster. So this way you're organized. The app is in sync with your with the actual runes in game, and you have a reference sheet of all the monsters that you want to take care of. And it's a beautiful system, I think, for organizing your free rune removal day efforts. It's really organized, really systematic, and ensures that you're getting the best runes possible for the monsters that matter the most. And then what you can do is, let's say I only have 3 hours, so I'm gonna top prioritize 5 monsters. If you have all day, I would go for 10 monsters. And then what you can do is, after you finish all 10 monsters and you optimize all the runes for them, you can go on and fill in with the remaining time you have with like the monsters that don't matter as much. Let's say like Bella, okay? She's important, but she doesn't need the best runes. So after I finish my 10, then I go on to Bella, and the best part is every other of the top 10 priority monsters will already have their runes locked. So I don't have to worry about Bella taking out runes from, you know, Veramos, right? And if the rune calculator shows me better stats, I'll take it. If it doesn't, then I won't, right? But it's Bella, so it doesn't matter. And I already know, like I have the surety that that the monster that I care about the most is already better from last month. Okay, so that is it, and that's the total 5 steps for you guys. I hope this video was valuable, was helpful, would, you know, gave you an idea of how to approach free rune removal day a bit better. Sorry I didn't post this before the actual day happened. I just wanted to troll you guys and get you mad. It's like, oh, why didn't I have the system yesterday, or whenever I'm gonna upload this. But all jokes aside, the reason I posted this after Saturday is because you guys kind of experienced doing it without this, and now next month you'll have experience doing it with this, and you can kind of see the difference. And also it's because I got the idea from yesterday's stream, so there's no way I would have put this video together in time. I hope this was helpful, and I do regularly stream on Twitch. The link to my Twitch is in the description. Thank you so much for checking out the video. This is a brand new channel. I hope you guys can support. If you guys like the content, please like and subscribe. I will have a lot more content out for you guys on Summoner's War very soon.